Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Showcase series presented by IoT for All, the number one publication and resource for the Internet of Things. I'm your host, Ryan Chacon. Before we jump into it, I would truly appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already. All right, on today's episode, we have Brandon Cannaday, the co-founder and chief product officer of Losant. They are a company that has built an easy-to-use, powerful enterprise IoT platform designed to help teams quickly and securely build real-time connected IoT products and services for their customers. And as you may know from this series and watching other episodes in the past, we like to focus on showcasing the power of IoT technology, the power of IoT solutions deployed in the real world, talking about things that you can actually adopt and start using, today, basically. So on today's episode, we are going to talk about Losant's IoT connected product solution, what it is, who it's intended for, how it works, talk about actual solutions that are utilizing this IoT connected product solution to be deployed in the real world and the benefits that they are seeing. Hopefully is relatable to maybe what you do and or things you are looking to kind of venture into in the IoT space. And I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. So please enjoy this episode of the Showcase series with Brandon Cannaday, the co-founder and CPO of Losant. Welcome, Brandon. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Let's start off by having you give a quick introduction about yourself and the company for our audience.
Sure thing. My name is Brandon Cannaday. I'm the Chief Product Officer and one of the founders for an IoT development platform called Losant. So we are in business to help our customers bring to life whatever it is their IoT or product or service might be.
Fantastic. So today, this is for our Solution Showcase series. The idea here is to talk about IoT being used in the real world, less kind of hypothetical, conceptual type discussion, and more so real life things, solutions that are available for somebody watching this to be able to adopt and apply to a problem they have, the business they have, you name it. So I wanted to just start off and have you just talk through the solution we're going to talk about today. What is it, and who the kind of target audience is?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what I'm going to talk about is using IoT to develop and publish connected products.
Mhm.
So a lot of what we hear in IoT really applies to manufacturing floor, manufacturing process. What I'm going to talk about is, well, how do we turn the things being manufactured themselves into connected products?
Hmm.
And really, my definition of connected product is extending the value and sellability of an existing product line through added technology, something like remote asset tracking, remote asset monitoring.
Fantastic. So who is the target audience for that? Talk a little bit more about kind of the ideal end user, or not end user. Yeah, I guess ideal customer in this stage, and
Mhm.
then obviously how does that trickle down to who ends up using this on a regular basis?
Gotcha. Yeah. So the audience for this, I would say, really falls into two buckets, at least from our perspective. One is industrial manufacturers. So
Okay.
these are companies that have had existing product lines, sometimes for decades. And really, what they want to do is increase the competitive attractiveness. These are very competitive industries. Customer expectations are very high. So
Hmm.
the audience here is product managers within these organizations, really seeking out ways to transform their business, new revenue streams. How do I
Right.
make my product more attractive? And the other is telecommunications. So telecommunication companies have a great foundation of connectivity, and that's the core of their business. So again, product managers within these organizations trying to identify what are new ways to extend our existing product line. In their case, it's connectivity. So to do that, it is to develop in IoT specifically these services that use that core connectivity as the data backhaul, but then take that connectivity into their customers' industries, which is still industrial, smart environment, asset tracking,
Hmm.
all built on their core connectivity. So from Losant's perspective, our perspective, those are the two most attractive industries. A lot of momentum,
Sure.
a lot of opportunity in there, a lot of new revenue being generated by kind of transitioning their product lines or extending their product lines through added technology.
And are those kind of the main benefits of this solution, is being able to, um, or as it relates to the product lines, new revenue streams, things like that, or what other benefits are there from deploying this solution kind of out there?
Yeah, so I would say there are three kind of primary benefits to keep in mind.
Okay.
One certainly is new revenue streams. Transitioning, especially in the case of manufacturing, transitioning from a one-time revenue model, you build a thing, you sell the thing, kind of end of transaction. Transitioning from a one-time or fixed revenue model to a recurring revenue model. These connected products are almost exclusively sold as subscription services. So
Okay.
you buy the product and you can buy a service. Um, so that's a new revenue stream. But secondary benefit is customer satisfaction, being attractive on a competitive landscape. If a potential customer of yours is evaluating, two comparable pieces of equipment, the one that has the technology, this remote monitoring, remote service, is going to be more attractive. It's not just, oh, I got to buy $10 a month service for it. There is a lot of value that comes in that service. Really greatly reduces, from your customer's perspective, the total lifetime cost of ownership.
Okay.
Being able to remotely service this thing, remotely monitor this thing, have access to historical information about it when it does come time to service it, can make those things a lot quicker. And the third is increasing the sellability of the product.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
so, not just competitive attractiveness, but if I buy this product, what is it going to make easier in the rest of my life? And in this case, when it comes to um, industrial equipment,
Right.
most often that equipment is going to be moved into some manufacturing process that's going to be part of a bigger smart manufacturing solution. So as somebody's trying to put together that smart manufacturing solution that includes your equipment and lots of other companies' equipments, if you're coming to the table with technology that makes it far easier to integrate your device in this broader solution, that's going to make it far easier to sell. You've already solved a couple layers of problems for the customer, and they're going to be very attracted to your product.
And now that we've kind of talked in detail, I guess higher level detail, kind of what this is, can you tell us or talk about some actual deployments of this solution? You don't have to necessarily name any customers, but just kind of those real world case studies so we understand how this is being kind of used out there.
Absolutely. I'll start with telecommunications. Large business for us, and one of our keystone customers there is Verizon. Verizon really took an active approach on developing these connected products, these IoT services that all piggyback on their core connectivity. The first one they brought to market on us was the critical asset tracker. So GPS tracker designed for kind of critical equipment. They sell a lot to automotive, kind of expensive stuff that's shipping around, shock and vibe built into it. So built on their core connectivity, extending that connectivity into new value. The other was condition-based maintenance. So condition-based maintenance is being sold into their industrial customers, really as a turnkey solution to add that remote monitoring, remote service capabilities on top of their equipment. So Verizon's done a great job of really pushing their core business into IoT. On the industrial side, with a bunch of customers, one of our largest segments, I'll just talk in generalities. They're all kind of similar. Um, they're all taking an existing product line and turning it into kind of a smart product line, either through two approaches. One, most common, is a retrofit, expensive equipment, retrofit it with a small gateway that taps into the existing controller. That's a very nice way to do it because it doesn't require any engineering changes. The equipment itself doesn't have to change. And if anyone's listening that has done engineering changes, requiring firmware changes can be a timely and expensive process. So the retrofit's a very quick way to get that product into the hands of your customers. And the other then is actually changing the equipment itself, putting that intelligence directly into the firmware, more embedded. That works well for less expensive equipment. Unit economics work a little bit more. You don't have that added gateway cost. But that's what we see. We see these industrial companies. They have intelligence in their manufacturing process, but now they're looking at ways, well, how do I add that intelligence to the things we manufacture as well? Turn the equipment that we make into basically enterprise connected products.
Fantastic. And let's talk about these deployments. Kind of, what are the key things that need to be considered if a company's out there listening and they're wanting to feel like, oh, this is perfect for what we want, we're doing. We'd love to learn more. What are some key things that they need to consider for this to be a successful deployment?
Yeah, number one would be start small. You would be shocked at how much value to you and your customers can be obtained through, pretty modest additions of technology. One of the biggest hurdles that we stumble across is wanting to do too much. It's very exciting, and we're going to add IoT into our product line. We get a big group of people together, and they come up with far too many concepts. So your controller, your equipment is already smart. It's got a really good controller, just keeping the thing running. A lot of intelligence baked in there. You can get a ton of value just extracting the information that's already available, getting it up into the cloud, and then making that visible to your customers. Great place to start. When it comes to like a tactical starting, we have a really nice, well-defined POC process. That's going to get you to an answer very quick. Does what I want to do work? Does it add value? Do my customers like it? Do my customers care? We want to make sure you succeed fast and you also fail fast. You don't want to do a large upfront investment into something
Right.
that ultimately maybe your customers aren't that interested in or didn't quite get you enough value that you needed. But start small, start with that POC project, try to get
Yep.
something implemented very fast, see what works, see what doesn't, iterate quickly.
And what's the timeline for deployment? Like, get us off the ground to kind of at least get into that first phase and start seeing ROI.
Yeah, so the a POC project, you can get something in. I mean, as little as a matter of days, depending
Okay.
on how easy it is tapping that data. A full blown production environment, we see usually 3 months on the short end, maybe a year on the big end, depending on how complicated and sophisticated the solution might be. So, if you start now, you can really be in market pretty quickly.
Fantastic. And for our audience wants to learn more about this solution, reach out with questions. How can they do that if they're interested in potentially adopting?
Yeah, so for us, we have losant.com. We do have a lot of educational material, a lot of deeper dive webinars that go into specific use cases, really get into the technology side if you're interested in that. We do have a lot of great, white papers and guides that would be very attractive to kind of product managers trying to figure out,
Right.
what's the business case, what's the ROI, how do I apply this in my organization? You can find all those on our website. And feel free to contact us. We've got a lot of experience working with the companies doing exactly this. We would love to have a conversation and see if it works for you.
Fantastic. Well, Brandon, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate this. This is only one of the many things, pieces of content I know we're putting out together, but this is a kind of a great overview of this solution. I think there's a lot of our audience who's going to find this valuable on how they can take something that they're already developing and building, make it smart, increase their product lines, increase revenue streams, and maybe into new revenue streams, and just make it kind of a general win-win for everyone, from themselves all the way to their customers. So fantastic, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you too, Ryan.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that episode of the IoT Solution video series from us at IoT for All. If you did, we'd really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. If you have a potential solution or something in the space that you would love to showcase to our audience, please email me directly at ryan@iotforall.com. I'd be happy to discuss what it is that you have going on and find ways to get that out to our audience. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.